Alrighty, good morning everybody. Happy Friday. It is June 30th, 2023. We're about to finish out the month. And give me 1 second, I actually want to turn off this red filter. Okay, so welcome in guys. I'm just really proud of, what we called here at the beginning of the week, and that was we were anticipating this huge bullish reversal. Mainly because our daily finally started to show bullish signals, and you guys have heard this now all week now, right? As we were pulling back, the daily finally started to show the signs of a potential reversal, probably back towards the end of last week, right? And then we came into Monday here, and we still saw the same potential bullish signal, still had the 4-hour and the hourly all showing bullish signals from the lows, and then we came right into the pocket that we were watching from 67 to 69, held 69 by 1 or 2 ticks, came into a critical area, and that's where everything aligned. The daily, the 4-hour, the hourly, a critical area level in the market. And then from there, we got this huge rotation, and now we're breaking through the 61.8 retracement of the whole sell-off from a couple of Fridays ago here, as you can see right now. So we're breaking out from there. We're coming up into, this is a little level I marked as probably the final level of resistance before it pushes up to that next scaffolding level up around 44.79 quarter. So we're right there at the moment, having a little bit of trouble, but it looks like this is a pretty healthy reversal back up. And like I said yesterday, I believe this is probably just a nice healthy in-breath, a nice healthy pullback, and now we're going to attempt to go ahead and come back, at least retest the high, if not go ahead and attempt to continue to break out. So I'm just really proud of that, and also very proud that when we came up and made the highs back on a couple of Fridays ago, we were expecting the breakout. The breakout didn't happen, and within an hour or two of the open, we started to pull back, and that's where basically all the stars aligned for the bears. The only issue was the daily wasn't quite giving a divergence, but that candlestick right there, very bearish looking. So from that day, we were expecting a pullback, and sure enough, going into the next day, we were expecting the market to break the low of that candle and pull back. We got the pullback, and then again, we anticipated this rotation it took a couple days. Like I said, when it's just setting up, we don't know where that actual low will be, but when we get there, we're going to get the breakout through the high of the signal candle, and sure enough, going into Tuesday of this week, we got the breakout above. And then here we are, right? So just want to pat ourselves on the back. Really proud of, just so you guys could see, in the last month, we basically anticipated the pullback and basically anticipated the rotation back up. So plenty of opportunity if you're a swing trader. If you got short a couple weeks ago off the Friday highs, you could have caught this whole sell-off, and then you could have been getting out of your position. Whoa. As we were getting ready for this potential rotation back up, and there you have it. And you could have rode this whole back up from 4350, 4400. We're now up almost 100 points. So, what did we do yesterday here? We talked about the fact that, I'm trying to remember now what we were doing here. I think we said, and let me bring this back to what we were seeing in the pre-market. We said that a pullback to the 50% in a strong bullish market, and we said that the day before when it pulled back and held the 50%, and then going into this yesterday morning, we'd said a pullback into about 50%, maybe we would come down a little bit lower. That would be an ideal area for the continuation higher. And what happened yesterday? This actually happened in the pre-market. We pulled back and held the 50% nearly to the tick and attempted to break out. And then as we came into the open, we had a couple levels below us as potential support yesterday. Do you guys remember one of the levels that we put on the chart? If we got through 50% of the previous day, it was going to be this retracement level at 44.10 half. Well, what was the low of yesterday? It's day in, day out sometimes here where we put our levels up and hold nearly to the tick for the biggest rotation of the day. So yesterday, the low of the day was essentially that retracement we were watching. I erased the additional retracements because we broke out and pushed to new highs this morning. So I got rid of the other retracements because we're done, right? That leg is over with, and now we're breaking out to new highs. So just another beautiful example of why we look at the levels we look at. Held it nearly to the tick there. I mean, I think it broke by 2 or 3 ticks, and then that was it. If you bought that pullback into that level, you would have gotten the whole push up into the end of the day there. So let's look at some of the details, and then we're going to get to today's pre-market. And I'm going to pull over the 512, and we'll just look at some of the more sexy things that happened here yesterday. So again, coming into the open, we had a resistance zone up above us. Our resistance zone, it included this pocket from 44.21 to 22.23, the high being the close of the day before. And then we had our scaffolding level here at 44.27. What happened? The market pulled back out of the open. It held the freaking retracement nearly to the tick, came up and failed a couple ticks above the top end of that pocket we expected to hold, held the 200 and came right to the scaffolding, and then pulled back and held 50% of the previous day and went right back to the scaffolding. Okay, then came back down and held 50% of the previous day, and then we started to break out. And there's that cross for anyone who was in the weekly webinar, or you missed the weekly webinar. Go watch it for our members. I sent it out. You should have an email. There's the cross, and then there's the ride off the FMA for the rest of that rest of the morning there. You could have got in, could have rode this up a little bit. It wasn't a huge push or anything, but again, just a beautiful example. Again, when you get those breakouts, you get your crossovers. Those are the type of low-risk opportunities you can jump into. And then as the day went on, we had some beautiful pullbacks to the tick off of all the roadmap levels. We had our hold off the scaffolding to the tick for for over a 10-point bounce. It pulled back. It held VWAP. It did a bounce of about 9 or 8 points. Then we failed right around the retracement. Came back down, and then this is the tricky thing. If anyone bought the hope on this larger pullback, it did push about 2-3 points through it before it came back, and then we started to recover. The bulls recovered from there. So that, unfortunately, the sexiest thing would have been a pullback right to it for a bounce, but that did not happen. And then from there, a nice little ride all the way back up. You could have probably bought the scaffolding level again. And even if you missed the scaffolding, you could have bought the pullback to the 200 here at the end of the day to get that final rally up to new highs. So pretty awesome stuff. And then in the overnight session here, guys, this is some awesome stuff. You could have bought the pullback to the 200 twice last night, and you would have been up about 20-30 points so far this morning, and you would have taken zero risk. Zero risk on the second test, 1 or 2 ticks of risk on the first test. So just unbelievable stuff here. Let's go into our pre-market for this morning.